How old are you? 13? 11? 9? Are you living boring school days? You've already found information on the internet that education should be fun so students can enjoy the class rate. Teachers must build a bond so that the spirit of learning can grow. Based on the various information you found on TikTok, you finally proudly announce that there is something wrong with the current education system. You have the right to demand more. Isn't that right? How weak! This is the consequence of kids your age holding a smartphone for too long. Your head is filled with strange dances and brain rot anomalies. I want to compare you with the generation from 120 years ago. I will prove that you, a child of the modern generation, have become extremely soft due to technological advancements. I will roast you thoroughly until you experience an existential crisis. Okay, first, I will make you one of the kids in the Victorian era. Yep, you heard it right. You are a little kid and you are British. Let's start by discussing the Queen's reign. You may have heard that the Victorian era was the peak of Great Britain's progress. The nobility lived very luxuriously, and many scientific innovations were born on this land. You must be proud. The British are the smartest people and dominate civilization. Have you ever heard of the steam engine? It's revolutionary. Work that used to require many hands is now easy with just one steam engine. Even the horses you used to travel far are starting to be replaced by steam engines. What about the train? Oh, it's sensational. Your journey, which used to take months by horse-drawn carriage, now only takes a matter of days. And don't forget the telegraph. Your love letter doesn't have to wait long to reach your sweetheart. With the telegraph, your message can arrive much faster. In the eyes of the world, which already knew Great Britain, you are a citizen of a highly advanced country. Wealth abounds. All those innovations deserve support from investors. Those inventors become the pride of Queen Victoria. But here's the problem. All that progress is just decoration. I mean, the inventions are real, but behind them lies a bitter truth that the citizens of Great Britain had to face. If the steam engine is a light of hope, the result of that light is black smoke. I mean, literally. The Industrial Revolution sounds cool, but at the same time, your sky is polluted by black smoke coming out of factory chimneys. You can even see the smoke from 2 miles away. What's worse than all that? You are a worker in that factory. Yep, that's right. You, the spoiled 9-year-old who should be enjoying childhood by playing, now have to bear the burden of earning a living for your family. This is the Victorian era, an advanced era. There is no such thing as child exploitation term. You might be handsome, just like other white-skinned, blonde-haired children. Unfortunately, your fate is not as lucky as the white children born into conglomerate families and residing in the city center. The difference is vast. They play in green, grassy parks, while you play on piles of firewood and coal. Their faces are clean and bright, while yours are smudged. When children your age proudly show off their beautiful white clothes, you wear a gray shirt covered in dust. Who knows? Maybe that shirt was originally white before being soiled by the smoke. From Manchester, Birmingham to London, your air is mixed with coal combustion smoke. Textile factories start producing fabric in large quantities. Steel factories continue to burn, melting iron. Trains keep moving on the rails, emitting the same smoke. Along the way, you see fog, and you hear people calling it the pea soupers. The best part? You are part of it. You, the little one who works in the factory for a piece of bread and milk, are part of the cause of this chaos. I mean, look out the window. Are the people on the street still clearly visible? Or is everything covered by the pea soupers? You are a small child who works every day for years to provide life for your family. Unfortunately, you yourself are drawing closer to death. That coal combustion smoke often disturbs your still developing lungs. You haven't even touched a cigar, but lung disease is already haunting you. Ironically, your family isn't doing any better. They could move outside the city, far from the smoke, to a place where they can breathe oxygen from trees. If they had the money. But of course, it's not that easy. Should they leave you alone in the city? And is it even possible for you, the little one, to commute between the outskirts and the factory every day? You, still a child, can only face the fact that you are poor and at high risk of contracting tuberculosis. Your harsh life must continue amidst the cruelty of the Victorian era's golden age. You are just a number. The industry doesn't care about you, just as they don't care about the environment. Do you know what the rich factory owners say? The higher the smoke coming out of the chimney, the more honorable they are. Can you imagine how they make that dusty object a status symbol? They laugh and drink tea on comfortable chairs, while you are trapped in deadly working conditions inside the factory, and equally deadly air conditions outside the factory. But surely Queen Victoria has mercy, right? It's impossible for her to let a small child like you live in poverty and have to fight against smoke every day just to eat. Well, you better judge for yourself. Due to the population explosion and widespread poverty, children are the cheapest and most easily replaceable labor commodity, including you. Children as young as 6, even 4, are employed in various brutal professions. That's right. If you, the modern child, were thrown into the Victorian era, your empathy might immediately be aroused by seeing a child smaller than you forced to be a worker. But there is no time for pity, let alone crying. Time to work. Remember, you are needed not only because you are cheap, but because of your body size. I mean, surely you must be wondering about your job description by now. In textile factories, children like you are known as piecers. Your job is to crawl under the running spinning machines to pick up fallen cotton threads. I guarantee this is an extremely dangerous job. One small mistake, one moment of carelessness, and your hair could get caught in the fast-moving machine gears. Your hand could also get pinched. You could suffer a permanent injury, disability, or the worst-case scenario for you who are just starting out in life: death. Do you think the textile factory is the worst? Wait until you work in the coal mine. There, you become a trapper or a hurrier if you're lucky. If you are a trapper, your job is to sit in complete darkness, opening and closing the mine ventilation doors. God knows what else is in there with you. Whereas, if you are a hurrier, you are tasked with pushing coal-carrying carts through narrow tunnels. Heavy and tiring, your little bones ache. But at least you don't have to stay in one place and get a chance to see the sunlight. But dear oh dear, those two jobs are no better than a chimney sweep. Yep, not a house chimney, but a factory smoke chimney. I hope you don't have claustrophobia, because your job is to climb the narrow, hot chimney using a stiff brush to clean the soot. Many of your coworkers meet tragic fates in this place. They often get stuck, suffer burns, and contract skin cancer at a young age due to exposure to soot and dirt. You will be very lucky and have to pray that you don't fall down and burn alive. What about working hours? Surely the adult businessmen should have special regulations for the working hours of minors. I mean, that small body is impossible for heavy work for a long time. Well, they don't care. Your working hours often reached 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, without adequate rest and with wages barely enough to survive. For factory owners, you and the other children are just tools to generate profit. As long as they can make money from your deadly hard work, then to hell with you. So, was the Victorian era actually hell? For you who lived miserably, perhaps you could say so. Why do you think the voice of resistance from the people who defended you emerged? Doctors, social reformers, even the famous writer Charles Dickens began to raise your horrifying story. Journalists began to spread photos of your scarred and disabled bodies, making the public increasingly furious at those greedy entrepreneurs. The result? The Factory Acts emerged, a regulation to protect you. Initially, these laws began to limit working hours for children under 18, prohibited children under the age of 9 from working in textile factories, and introduced inspectors to ensure compliance. Of course, annoyed, the greedy entrepreneurs disagreed, seeing these laws as hindering their business, even scaring people about the economy collapsing. But nothing was in vain, because eventually, children were pulled out of the factories and mines. A beautiful ending for the children of the Victorian era. That's why I'm telling this to you, a 21st century child who is still sitting in school. I hope you understand that your complaint about not being able to play Xbox is a very shameful thing. Have a nice day.